Everyone is happy the Oklahoma City Thunder lost in the Western Conference Finals.
Fight's over. Fight's over.
Now, the main reason why people are so happy is because Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is probably one of the most flukiest MVPs of all time. He used to play good ethical basketball when he was on the Clippers, and now he flops like a fish after every time somebody just breathes on him the wrong way. On top of that, look at this play from De'Aaron Fox. Literally is a perfect example of what should not be in the league. They say it's a foul if you hit him on the arm. They say it's a foul if you don't allow the player to get landing space to come down properly. Well, De'Aaron Fox contested great, got out of the way, literally gave Shai a perfect landing spot like a G52 plane or whatever, and still fell. So it was clear cut that the referees had it out for the Spurs and were helping the Thunder out, that the Thunder Venmo'd the referees about $150,000 to help them get through this game. Now, you might think I'm just some bitter wannabe YouTuber influencer saying things that literally everybody else is saying online in every comment section, but don't take it from me. Take it from a guy who has millions of dollars in the bank, Max Kellerman, who knows just a little bit about ball.
Shai is flopping on every possession. He's flopping on every possession. It's ridiculous. Hartenstein and Chet are fouling Wemby all the time. Either the refs are very bad at their jobs and they keep missing everything. I find that hard to believe because the refs are good at their jobs. That's why they got to be NBA refs, and because it's happening in front of everybody. Everyone can see the flopping. Everyone can see Shai trying to, sell the calls. Everyone can see what Hartenstein and what Chet are doing to Wemby. So they're either bad at their jobs and can be easily fooled, which means that they're bad referees and they shouldn't be reffing, or the league is sending them messages, hey, let people do this, which is bad on the league, right? I'm just going through the possible options. Let certain things slide. Or the refs are making that decision on their own, which is also bad. Those are three options. The refs don't have to hear from the league. They're just like, okay, we're going to let him do. Wemby's too impossible to contain. We'll let him get away with this on Wemby. Hey, this is what Shai does. We'll give him the whistle. Any way you slice it, the preferable situation in these playoffs would be for the refs just to call the game properly. Just call the game. They're not doing it. Not in the Thunder Spurs series. And let me tell you, the real problem is Hartenstein is getting away with vet moves on Wemby. I'm not mad at Hartenstein. If they're going to let him do it, he should be doing it. If he's able to hold Wemby, and everyone sees this, he's doing it with two hands, right? There's physicality, that's fine. But if you hold a dude like this so he can't move in plain view of the ref, but I'm not mad at Hartenstein because obviously...
Yeah, they don't call it. Call it.
But Chet is something else. Chet steps on Wemby's foot, obviously intentionally. That's so messed up.
Well, that's dangerous. You can't do that.
It's dangerous. Shai is flopping on every possession.
I mean, is it just me, or did they feel like the Kansas City Chiefs of basketball? Because literally no calls were made against them. You have players stepping out of bounds with the ball and saying that is still OKC's ball. Like Max just said, you got Chet, the most overrated big man in the game, stepping on Wemby's foot, trying to purposely hurt him. And I've said it before, I'll say it again. Players try to purposely hurt other players, but y'all don't want to listen. AJ Mitchell, backcourt that they didn't call on the Thunder, but they call on Stephon Castle, and probably the dirtiest play, Isaiah Hartenstein, worst name in the league, by the way, pulling Stephon Castle's hair, ref standing right there, didn't call it. I've had my gripes with referees. I think they are the scum of the earth in all sports, NFL, NBA, NHL. They are the stupidest people on planet Earth. Even in the finals last year, you had players holding TJ McConnell's hand like it was a picnic in the park, and they still didn't call it, even with the dumb mother flowers, I can't cuss on YouTube, right there to see the thing, right there to see the play. Elbow and Tyrese Halliburton. That's when the heel turn happened, and that's what made us all root for the entire Indiana Pacers team to hopefully defeat the Thunder, and had Hallie not hurt his Achilles, they would have done it. Now, Adam Silver didn't do any favors by saying this. As I sit in the stands at games, players may be falling down, players may be reacting to a call. To me, if they're not fooling the referees, it's okay.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
How can he honestly sit there with a straight face and say that? I get it. He's probably trying to make face to just make it seem like everything's okay. There is nothing suspicious going on. However, I do think that with that being said, Adam did call the league representatives did call the refs and said, hey, you're making it a little too obvious, because if you make it any more obvious, people are already threatening to not watch the game. It'll just bring ratings down. It'll bring viewership down. Nobody will want to watch it, especially when ratings have been struggling over the past 10 years. So I don't blame him for trying to make face, but it was such a stupid remark by the commissioner that it just made it more obvious who he was rooting for. Now, so you don't think I'm sounding bitter and jealous, take it from one of the Barstool guys who have a boring podcast who you guys will listen to more than me to tell you what I've been saying.
What is confusing right now, T-Bob, is that he's playing against the Oklahoma City Thunder, who are the worst professional sports team to ever exist. They I fucking hate them so much. I hate them as an organization. They should not exist. They were a team that was stolen from Seattle. The entire franchise should not exist. It should be back in Seattle, first of all. Secondly, the way they play basketball is such a blight on a sport that I love. It is taking everything that I have loved about this sport, and I've grown up playing it. I've grown up watching it. I've been obsessed with the sport of basketball my entire life. And here come the Oklahoma City Thunder, this iteration of Oklahoma City Thunder, and they are taking a shit on the thing I love the most. They're just every single night they take the floor. It's just a fucking disgrace. But there's one savior out there, and his name is Victor Wembanyama. What's confusing right now, T-Bob, is that he's playing again. And so I'm drawn to the light for that reason, T-Bob, where I'm like, if Victor Wembanyama can take down the Oklahoma City Thunder and end this shit once and for all, because it's really not like the Thunder flop like crazy, and it is a conversation that is it's all anyone wants to talk about when they watch them and yada yada yada. If the Thunder don't win, it's not as big of a problem, because people like the Thunder fans like to point out like James Harden does this. Well, James Harden's a loser. The fact that you can win a championship playing this way is disgusting, and it pisses a lot of people off. But if Victor Wembanyama saves the day, that's awesome. So I'm drawn to the light for that reason, T-Bob, where I'm like, if Victor Wembanyama can take down the Oklahoma City Thunder and end this shit once and for all, because it's really not like the Thunder flop like crazy. And
boy, did they ever beat him. Who was that, LeBron? No, it was Luke the Hornet Cornett. PGA, SGA, Chick-fil-A, Spurs in 7. They did the unthinkable. They did literally what nobody outside of San Antonio thought they would do. They did what we were all hoping they would do, and that is defeat the flukiest champs of all time in OKC. Now, honestly, I thought that OKC was a little bit overrated. You know, many people want to say AJ Mitchell being out and Jalen Williams being out. The reason why I keep calling it the flukiest championship ever is because, or one of the flukiest championships ever, there's a lot more, but that's a different video for a different day, is because that I felt like the Thunder were on borrowed time since Game 7 of the NBA Finals last time. Everybody will agree in the comment section that if Tyrese Halliburton didn't get hurt, then they would go on and win the championship. That's the Indiana Pacers, that is. And the fact that, yeah, they didn't face much true test this entire season, or postseason for that matter. The Spurs had their number all season. So the fact that they were out here acting like the big men on campus, being corny with their TikToks, they were straight up on borrowed time. And I didn't feel like their role players were ever that good to begin with. I felt like it was Shea with a few games of Chet sprinkled in, who played absolutely terrible. A few games of freaking Lou Dort, a few games of Caruso, but Caruso played like the exact reason the Lakers traded him. I didn't feel like their supporting cast outside of Shea could carry them to a Game 7 victory, and this game proved that. Y'all get the idea. Chet Holmgren's overrated. Now, who's going to win the finals? On to bigger, better business. I'm going to compare this series to the Nuggets and Heat from 3 years ago. Why? Because the Nuggets went 12-3 on their road to the finals. The Heat went 12-6. The record of the Spurs going into the finals is 12-6. The record of the Knicks is 12-3. Both teams, the Nuggets and Knicks that is, had long layoffs in between Game 1. The Knicks swept their series against the Cavs. The Nuggets swept their series against the Lakers, leading to that long time off. The Spurs had a hard-fought 7-game series against the Thunder, whereas the Heat had a hard-fought 7-game series against the Celtics, who were the prohibited favorites to reach the finals that year. So in the end, I feel like this series will go 6, mainly because I think the Knicks just have too much firepower. These guys would not miss in that series against Cleveland. They would not miss against that series against the 76ers. So the fact that they have an opportunity to bring a championship to New York for the first time in 53 years, I think they will do it. I will say 6 because I feel like Wemby will have an incredible game in one of those games, and I feel like the other game will be the role player stepping up for San Antonio. But y'all let me know your thoughts in the comment section.